Arne Slot is reportedly set to stay as the Liverpool head coach going into next season. That is the word, that is the reports coming out from a particular source in David Ornstein. Now, for anybody and everybody that knows David Ornstein, you'll know that when he speaks, normally there is a lot of weight and credibility to what he writes and to what he speaks. The guy knows his stuff. Usually, he only puts stuff out there if he genuinely believes in it, and 9 times out of 10, it is the truth. It is the truth. He is very particular with what he decides to put into the public domain, usually not necessarily because he wants to always be right, but because he wants to be more so accurate than a large number of other sources out there that want to obviously report on different things regarding football. But the news came yesterday. He was speaking on the Athletic FC podcast, and he stated that it's his understanding, and from the conversations that he's had and the sources close to Liverpool seem to claim, that Liverpool Football Club have no intention of getting rid of Arne Slot going into next season. And I, for one, find this a joke if this obviously does come to fruition. Now, of course, a lot can happen between now and the summer. A lot can maybe change in the minds of maybe the Liverpool hierarchy. Maybe Arne Slot himself decides to step down amongst the criticisms that he's had this season, and maybe amongst the pressure that maybe he's felt this season going into this year as defending Premier League champions. But it does seem, for all intents and purposes, like Arne Slot is determined to see out the final year of his 3-year deal at Liverpool, that Liverpool themselves are determined to see out the final year of Arne Slot's current contract with the club. And given how this season has gone, I, for one, think that this is a joke. This is ridiculous. I'm already writing off next season already. I don't know about you guys, but upon hearing this news, I'm not happy about it. I'm sure 99% of other Liverpool fans are not happy about it. But you know who is happy about it? Rival fans, other fans. You could probably hear them cheer yesterday. You probably you probably saw a lot of rival fans smile and cheer and be happy about this news yesterday, because not a lot of people think that. A lot of people seem to think that when Arne Slot is the Liverpool manager, Liverpool aren't a threat anymore. And that is the case. And I think in these kind of situations, you have to listen to what your rival fans are saying. You have to listen to what your rival fans are thinking, because they're a big indicator here as to how far Liverpool have fallen off. I imagine a lot of rival fans hearing this news yesterday, it was like music to their ears, because no one thinks Liverpool are a threat whilst this bald-headed fraud is in charge. We have seen this manager get the luxury of splashing £450 million in one transfer window. A luxury that is not given to many managers, definitely not any Liverpool manager previously, but a lot of money to spend to get better. A lot of money to spend to get close to a team that this guy has had massive PTSD over since they knocked him out the Champions League last year. Every single day, every single press conference, every single interview, this guy couldn't help but mention PSG this, PSG that, PSG the other. And the other night when we played them in the Champions League, and obviously last week when we played them in the Champions League, they showed that they are absolute levels above us. This guy was given £450 million to close the gap from last year. And what has he done with that money? He has made us get worse. This guy has made us worse than what we were last year. Even though he's had something that no other Liverpool manager has had. Even though he had the platform in which Jurgen Klopp had to work and grind to basically lay on a table for someone. Arne Slot comes in, and for the first half of the season, it works. But since the turn of 2024 into 2025, something has changed at Liverpool. And it has been a way that Slot has wanted to turn more things his way since then. And we got away with it towards the end of last season because our first half of the season form was just too great for anybody to catch and match, and other teams fell away as well. But then going into the new season with a lot of hope, excitement and optimism at spending £450 million, the guy has turned us into a joke. We barely put up a fight in the Carabao Cup. The FA Cup, we went out with a whimper against Manchester City. The first sign of real adversity in the FA Cup, with all due respect to the teams that we played before. The first big team we come up against, and we crumble. And then in the Champions League, once again, we meet an old nemesis in PSG. A time to show our mental strength, a time to show how far we've come from last year. And this guy, once again, goes out with a whimper. It is embarrassing. It is completely stupid. And I can't fathom the thing that's going off in my mind right now, which is I have seen a number of clubs roll the dice this year and show more ambition than what FSG are doing right now. How are we living in a world in which FSG are witnessing what is happening this season and going, yeah, we'll keep Arne Slot? I have been doubtful of these rumours. I have been doubtful of these rumours for a while because they have been there, admittedly. But I've constantly said, there is absolutely no way FSG can keep this guy in charge. Not when you're seeing other teams around them change their managers. Ruben Amorim got changed by Man United earlier this season for Michael Carrick. Chelsea swapped Enzo Maresca for Liam Rossini. You may not have to agree with these managerial swaps, but they're at least rolling the dice here and showing a bit more ambition than what we are right now. Even Tottenham last year won their first trophy in 17 years. And yet they still got rid of Ange Postecoglou in favour of Thomas Frank. They even changed Thomas Frank to Igor Tudor and changed Igor Tudor into Roberto De Zerbi. Again, you don't have to agree with what the manager change is, but they're showing a bit more ambition in terms of at least they are trying something different, which is not what you can say for Liverpool right now, because FSG have ruined this season by keeping this guy in charge. And like I say, these rumours have been flying around for a while now. Past several weeks, the question of Arne Slot's future has been put in serious doubt. English sources are claiming that Liverpool would keep him. Foreign sources are claiming that Liverpool would get rid of him. There's conflicting stories there. I was more so inclined to believe the foreign outlets. They've been right about other things. The one source that I'm thinking about in particular was right every step of the way when it came to the transfer of Florian Wirtz in the summer. And they were talking about Alonso, how Alonso's on standby. Alonso doesn't want to take over until the summer. And now that David Ornstein has said this, well, now I am seriously worried. Now I am seriously concerned, not just about going into next season with Slot, but what exactly are FSG doing? How are FSG witnessing what is going on the pitch right now, which is a squad that is not improving, a squad that is seemingly getting worse to watch by the game week, side that is so poor in terms of the way that we play, how slow we are, how predictable we are. It's awful. It's gone awful. And yet we're going, yeah, we'll be fine with that for next season. That first half against PSG is exactly how we're going to set up next season, by the way. Obviously, get well soon and speedy recovery to Hugo Ekitike, of course. He's going to be missing the half of next season at the very least. And, you know, there's no guarantee that he'll become the same player or go on to become the player that was promised and had all the potential in the world to be after what is a horrible injury, and an injury that obviously a lot of people don't necessarily fully recover from. But that 4-2-2-2 formation with seemingly two up top, but kind of rotate and flex into more of a 4-2-3-1 and all of that kind of stuff. That is how Liverpool are going to set up next season. And you want to know what the annoying factor is? Because there's already been talk. Slot said it after the game. They're already looking at transfers for the summer. And they're already looking at making a number of them again for the summer. And I, for one, can't understand this. Because the reports that have been flying around for the past several weeks are claiming that FSG see this season as a transitional season. They use Diogo Jota's passing, his tragic and sad passing. God rest in peace to Diogo Jota. They constantly use that as an excuse as well, which is horrible, in my opinion, that you can still do that even this long. And I know that may sound harsh, and I know that I don't want it to come across as that, but these guys still have a job to do going out there. You see the media do it as well. They claim that it's been a transitional season as well. And these are the two factors that they are talking about when they talk mitigating circumstances and stuff like that. The fact that they're still using that, and they are using a transitional season with a number of players leaving and a number of players coming in, and yet they are talking about a number of players leaving and a number of players coming in for this season. So what are we doing here? Because he's proven he can't do it already, but yet we're going to do the same thing in the summer anyway, which makes no sense. Because what we're going to do next season, have the same situation, have the same story. Oh, Slot didn't do anything this year because, again, mitigating circumstances. Because, again, a season of transition. We're bringing in the new and getting rid of the old. And we're doing this and we're doing that. It makes no sense. And it also makes no sense in terms of, why did we not spend anything in January? If this guy seriously had the backing of FSG, why did we not spend anything in January? Why did we let Mark Gahey in particular slip through our fingers? Why was Antoine Semenyo being presented right there for around about the fee of 60-odd million pounds? And we decided, no, Man City, go and get him. Go and get him. And why, if he doesn't have the full backing of FSG, did we stop contract negotiations? Why? It makes zero sense to me why we would do one thing and say the other. It makes zero sense to me. And the worst part about all of this is that there is a manager in Xabi Alonso. Xabi Alonso, one of the best upcoming managers, one of the young managers with high potential, high promise, that is out there right now, unattached from a club, just sitting there as somewhat of a free agent. And we are deciding, I know we wanted him before. I know we chased him when he was at Bayer Leverkusen. But you know what? We're going to stick with what we've got right now. We're going to stick with what we've got right now. Why? This makes zero sense. This is disgusting and this is horrible to even witness. And like I say, I'm already writing off next season. I don't know about you guys, but I don't have much hope for next season upon hearing this news from David Ornstein. Look, I hope something changes. I hope either Ornstein's got it wrong for the very few times that he does. I'm hoping that either Slot decides to walk away himself, or maybe the club hierarchy change their opinions going into the summer. But either way, this absolutely stinks. Big up to each and every single one of you that is in the building right now. Do me a massive favor and smash a like on the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. We'll get to the chat in just a second. Obviously, hit up the chat, people, whether you're popping in just to say hi, whether you've got some thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, on this particular subject of the likelihood of Arne Slot staying at Liverpool going forward. Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling. But yes, this seemingly is a very dark period of time for Liverpool Football Club. One in which now I cannot see a light at the end of the tunnel, assuming that David Ornstein is, of course, being legitimate and genuine. I mean, like I say, it is David Ornstein, so the likelihood is that this is true. I mean, he's got more credibility than most. Doesn't mean he's going to be bang on, and doesn't mean he's going to be a certainty to be right in this or any situation. But like I say, Ornstein has got more credit in the bank than what a lot of other journalists have got. And I hope that on this occasion he's wrong. I'm hoping that Liverpool and FSG do see sense, do get rid of this guy, and we do go for a manager like Xabi Alonso. But I genuinely don't understand what is going on right now at Liverpool Football Club. So, like I say, hit the like button and subscribe if you're new, and hit up the chat, people. Would love to hear what you have to say on this particular topic. Big up Abdul is already here, says hi Fletch in chat. How are you? Like and subscribe, people. I'm good, man. I hope you are doing well yourself. Other than the fact that this news is terrifying me, yeah. Other than that, yeah, we're good. We're good. What does Arne Slot need to do to get sacked? 17 losses and 7 draws, no trophy this season, all season, bad performances, bad man manager, and no connection. FSG, Michael Edwards, and Richard Hughes all go. I mean, this is a sackable offence in of itself for those guys that are not making the decision to sack Arne Slot in the first place, in my personal opinion. But you're 100% correct. We are 2 losses away from having the most amount of losses ever suffered by Liverpool Football Club in a single season, in a season in which we have spent £450 million, in a season in which we went into it as the defending Premier League champions. Can it get any more embarrassing than that? Rival fans are already taking the mick out of us all season long because of what is happening. And yet this club decide, yeah, this manager that's made us a complete laughingstock and an embarrassment after spending so much money deserves to have another chance. No other club would do this. No other work of life would give this guy another opportunity. So why are we different? I hope I'm proven wrong, by the way. If this actually does materialize, I 100% hope I am proven wrong. I hope that I'm here next season with trophies galore, and that I can turn around and go, you know what, FSG, you were right. Arne Slot, I apologise. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am in this situation. And I know a lot of Liverpool fans are thinking the same way. The way we are doing things, we are not a big club and no ambition. We still need players. We need to be serious. Sack him and start again new next season. The football is boring and slow. FSG out. Yeah, it's stupid. It's predictable. It is ridiculous. what is going on right now at Liverpool Football Club. Completely agree with you. Big up James, who's in the building. Lovely to have you here, bro. Hope you're doing well. It says sack the bold fraud now. Completely agree with you. FSG out now. Again, you 100% spot on, bro. Spot on in terms of if they are genuinely going to keep this guy in the position he's in, why shouldn't they be sacked? Like, this is a sackable offense in of itself. The club is a joke. Agreed. Big up Reluctant Gamer who's here. It says, hey yourself, my bro. Hope you're doing well on this Thursday morning. Madrid nearly done it. That was an incredible game last night. Here's the thing. Is it any wonder that the 2 Champions League games out of 4 this week that did not contain an English club were the most entertaining games to watch? Is that a coincidence? Or is that just a statement of how dreadful the Premier League is in terms of quality right now? I think it's the latter. I think it's the latter in terms of how good the Madrid-Bayern game was and how good the Atletico Barcelona game was. I think that's a testament to foreign football, how entertaining and how great it is right now, and how poor the Premier League is. I think, I mean, maybe you guys think differently, but I can't shake the feeling and maybe the coincidence that the 2 games that featured English clubs were a lot more boring and a lot more predictable than the 2 other games that had non-English clubs in them. I'm just saying. But yes, that game was absolutely insane last night. It had literally everything. It had literally everything. It was awesome. Nice kit. Thank you, bro. Espanol. Another mystery kit. We're in big trouble if Slug stays. I somewhat agree. Big up Fernie is in the building. Lovely to have you here, bro. It says, thought Alonso was taking over. Yeah, I did as well, bro. I did as well. And I think a lot of other Liverpool fans probably thought that way. But with the Ornstein bomber that dropped last night, I don't know anymore. Look, it still could happen. Like I say, a lot can change between now and the summer. I don't know. I was confident it would be Alonso. I was confident that, or at the very least, we would sack Slot and begin search for a new manager. Remember, Alonso's a guy that's been on our radar for a while. Alonso's a guy that's been on our radar since his days at Bayer Leverkusen. Alonso's the guy that we wanted as our first choice replacement to when obviously Jurgen Klopp left. So when the opportunity to have our first choice manager appears in front of us like an open goal and we just miss it, we miss the opportunity. And I'm scared now. I'm scared that a club like Manchester United or any other big club could come in and swoop in for Alonso. And obviously the United one would hurt me more. But if a big club comes in for Alonso and they go on to have a successful long period of time where they win trophies, they're playing some beautiful football, the fans are happy, the fans are excited, I'm going to be absolutely fuming. I am going to be absolutely fuming if we miss a golden opportunity for the long-term success of Liverpool Football Club. I am not going to be happy whatsoever. Is this some joke? I mean, I wish, but like I say, it's coming from Ornstein and he's got a lot more credibility in the bank than what a lot of other people do. No Limit Fredo is in the building. Lovely to have you here, bro. It says pre-recorded live. No, this is genuine. I just went on a mad tirade. I can't watch Liverpool anymore with Slot in charge. What is Liverpool doing? Big up, Dean. Lovely to have you here, bro. Hope you're doing well, my brother. I don't know. I genuinely don't know what Liverpool are doing right now. It's got to be said. I've got no idea in terms of, like I say, I hope it's just noise. I hope they're giving him his backing and they don't necessarily mean it. I hope it's somewhat like they're just doing it to maybe not rock the boat with the final 6 games to go of the season. We're still after Champions League places. We still need to solidify those for next season. So I'm hoping it's basically don't rock the boat. Don't say anything stupid. Keep him on side. And then in the summer, we'll get rid of him then. But the noise has been getting louder on Slot staying. Like I said a few weeks ago, the rumors were that we were keeping him because there was a lot of mitigating circumstances. And the mitigating circumstances that they talked about was the passing of Jota, which I still think is ridiculous, even right now, considering we are long past the summer. And the fact that we had a season of transition. A lot of different players coming in, a lot of players leaving. But the talk is that we're going to be doing the same thing again this summer with a lot of players leaving and a lot of players being brought in. So we're going to have that same excuse next season, are we? In which case, why don't we just write off next season already? Because as long as this guy's in charge, our goals and perspective and aims for the season have again been lowered to just this time we're only challenging top 5. This time we're only looking to get into the Champions League. If we're fortunate, we may get a good cup run, but that's only if we're fortunate. That's only if we manage to avoid the big teams, your Arsenals, your Cities, maybe even like your Man Uniteds at Old Trafford. It's worrying times, bro. It's worrying, like this news story coming out. And again, I'll reiterate my point that I made earlier. If I made my point earlier, when the news broke, you could probably see a lot of people smiling that were not Liverpool fans. You could probably hear a lot of non-Liverpool fans cheering and being happy at this news because whilst this guy is here, the likelihood is that Liverpool will not be a threat to any piece of silverware for next season. So that's another year that we can completely write off in terms of not winning anything. And if that's the case, then what was the point in giving Salah his new contract? He's already going in the summer, but what was the point in giving him that new contract if we weren't going to challenge this season or next? What was the point in giving Van Dijk his contract if we weren't going to compete this season or next? This whole transition thing is a joke. You don't sign those two players, given the time of their careers, to 2-year mega money deals if you're not going to compete. You don't bring in win now players like Isak, like Wirtz, Frimpong, Kirkez, Ekatike if you're not going to compete. We have got everything backwards, it seems. Everything backwards. It's ridiculous. Slot is a Liverpool diehard fan. Well, he needs to start acting like it. Just like Horn said, here to stay. Big up Nick is in the building. Lovely to have you here, bro. Absolutely ridiculous. Arnie Egghead Fraud Slots. Absolutely. This club. This is awful for Liverpool Football Club. It's finished with this clown. Like I say, it's taken him just under 18 months to basically destroy what Jurgen Klopp built, to destroy the mentality of this side from doubters to believers, back to doubters again. It's ridiculous, bro. Like, it is a complete contrast to where we were this time last year. This time last year, we were in party mode. This time last year, we were loving life as Premier League champions, looking forward to finally being able to celebrate a Premier League title properly. And yet, here we are a year later, down in the mud. Down in the mud. Big up to each and every single one of you that's here still, by the way. Make sure you're hitting the like button and make sure you're subscribing if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. You know, that's why I never had a permanent club, because I don't need to get PTSD for someone else's fault or stupid decision. I somewhat envy you in these moments, dude. I somewhat envy you in these moments, but no, I would need some form of attachment. And although this club is infuriating me right now, I couldn't imagine supporting anybody else. Big old Grandiosa, who's in the building. Lovely to have you here, bro. No way has it been confirmed. Like I say, it's not all confirmed by the club or anything, and obviously things can change, but for the most part, this comes from the mouth of David Ornstein. David Ornstein, as we know, has got more credibility in the bank than most other tier one and other top tier journalists out there. So the likelihood is that there is some weight behind what he is saying. He spoke on the Athletic FC podcast yesterday and basically stated that what he is hearing is that Liverpool have no intention of parting ways with Arne Slot. Now, of course, not completely set in stone, but the likelihood is that if Ornstein is saying it, there's a good chance that that is genuine. Spurs did a huge mistake sacking the winning manager. I don't know, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not 100% convinced by that. I'm not 100% convinced that Postecoglou would have saved them from relegation this season. If you look at the way that their Premier League campaign fell off completely last year, I feel like it would have continued again. I feel like they would have had more of an opportunity at staying up had they kept Thomas Frank, but we'll never know. We'll never know. Sorry if I didn't say hi. I hope you're okay. I'm good, man. It's all good. It's all good. Don't worry about it. I hope you're all good as well, man. Despite this year happening to us, I have no optimism for the future. We are finished, is what Dean is saying here. And look, it's kind of hard to somewhat disagree. I want to disagree. I want to say, like, no, things will get better. And maybe they will if Ornstein's wrong about this. But is he? Like I say, Ornstein doesn't put stuff out there unless he's got it on good authority that it's the truth. There maybe are examples out there where Ornstein's got it wrong. Ornstein has maybe made a mistake, or the club or the club that he's been reporting on have told him one thing and then they've gone and done the other. But 9 times out of 10, the majority of the time, Ornstein is usually right about this. But we'll see. Big up Jaden is in the building. Lovely to have you here, bro. But I thought Axel Hesse has convinced our fans about Xabi Alonso. That's what I thought too. Like I said, I'm believing foreign outlets. I'm believing the people that basically stated that they talked about the Florian Wirtz situation and they basically were right every step of the way. Even when it looked like that he was going to be going to Bayern and then Man City, and then we come out of nowhere and we sign him. And it's like, these guys were right all along about the whole Wirtz situation. And then, yeah, this happens. It's a joke. We ain't a big club, as we will be mid-table at best next season. It could be right, man. You could be right. Like, with the way that we've been falling, like, could be right. Because again, we're going to have to go for another season where we're signing a number of players. And there's no guarantee that those players might not even want to come to Liverpool if we don't get Champions League football. So what, we're going to have to put up with another season of watching Cody Gakpo again? Oh, fantastic. Great. We spoke about it yesterday, didn't we? We basically stated, like, we're going to need a DM. We're going to need at least 2 centre-backs. We may need a new left-back. We're going to need 2 new wingers. And now that Ekatike has done his Achilles, we're probably going to need another striker. That is at the very least 7 players. And I've not even got into the fact that at right back, we've got issues with Connor Bradley and Jeremy Frimpong's reliability in terms of them not being properly fit and reliable to play. And the fact that Ryan Gravenberch and McAllister have absolutely dropped off a cliff this year. So we're going to need at least 1, maybe 2 new centre mids as well as a DM. That's at least 10 players. We're looking at 10 players in a season we may not even have Champions League football with. Like, what? How have we fallen away so much this season in a year in which we were like, that transfer window was awesome. We just needed a centre-back. That's all we needed, a centre-back. But we can go in January and get one. And then we don't. We let Mark Gahey slip through our fingers. And Mark Gahey's now going to be is now at Man City, in which I know he was cup-tied for the Carabao Cup, but they just won a Carabao Cup because they also signed Semenyo as well, another player that was presented in front of us, and we went, no. They just signed Semenyo. They just become Carabao Cup winners. They're likely to go and win the FA Cup as well. And if they beat Arsenal on Sunday, you can probably guarantee that they're probably going to go on and win the Premier League as well. City are about to do the domestic treble, potentially, in a season in which they haven't even been that great. But because we didn't put any pressure on any of Arsenal or City, we just let the opportunity slip through our fingers again. Jurgen Klopp must be absolutely tearing his hair out at home, looking at what Liverpool have become, looking at what Slot's done to this team, and especially when you consider that Arsenal and City haven't been that great, and he had to face both of them in their prime. Both in their prime. And yet he only has 1 Premier League to show for it. He only has 1 FA Cup to show for it, 1 Champions League to show for it, and 2 League Cups to show for it. Still fantastic achievements, not taking anything away from him. But when you look at what he came into, what he had to build, the way it took time to build, and then he lays in and he basically leaves the club bigger than when he found it, which is the ultimate compliment you can give to anyone. They left the club bigger than when he found it. And then in the space of 2 years, this manager went and won a Premier League with them and then took them right to the bottom. Well, I wouldn't say the bottom just yet because we could still fall further, and especially with us going into next season with him, there is definitely a possibility of that. But Jesus Christ, he must be infuriated with what he's seeing right now. Big up Trudon is in the building. Lovely to have you here, bro. It says Arne Slot is here to stay. Yeah, seems that way, doesn't it? The roundtable discussion told me he's here to stay. I didn't really believe it. I just thought it was propaganda to try and get fans back on side and to try and maybe rally. Like I say, there were a few stories and a few situations this year that made me think that they're not fully behind him. Why did they stop contract negotiations if they weren't if they weren't on board fully with him being the manager going forward? Why did they not give him any money to spend in the January transfer window when Mark Gahey was there for the taking? It made no sense to me. It made no sense. And I was like, well, if you don't fully back the guy, get rid of him. But now it looks like they do. So what's changed? I would love to know what the situation is. If there's more to it than just the whole Jota thing and the and obviously buying a load of new players and getting rid of a load of old ones. Like, what is it? Because it makes no sense. Makes no sense whatsoever. How round is the table? Shocking prop. Shocking prop. Watching Diaz and Trent yesterday showed how big a loss them two are. I think Trent in this system would be okay because of the way that he plays. I think we would be better with Trent in the team because of his creativity. Diaz, though, I'm not so sure. Diaz would not be playing the way he's playing right now at Bayern if he was still in this Liverpool team. Trent would be better, but Diaz I don't think would. There's no way that Diaz is putting up the numbers that he's putting up Bayern Munich in this Liverpool team. No way. Women's football is better at the moment from Kevin. Big up, Kevin. Hope you're doing well, my bro. Admittedly, I don't watch a lot of women's football, so I can't really comment. I do apologize. Everton versus Liverpool. Oh God, I don't want to. I don't want to even think about it right now. But I've got to do a Premier League predictions video either later today or tomorrow, and probably going to be later today, to be fair. And I don't want to. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know. I'm scared. Liverpool are going into that game off the back of a horrible 2 weeks. The only bright light has been a win at Fulham. Everton have got this momentum going for them that maybe, just maybe, they can finish above Liverpool this season. It's the first Merseyside derby at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Their fans are going to be up for it because it's their cup final. I'm terrified. I am absolutely terrified. Going into Sunday, I am scared that this is going to be horrible. Absolutely horrible. They're more manly and tackle properly is from Kevin. Again, can't comment. So effectively, Liverpool could lose every game left and he'll still stay. FSG are not serious. That's the word coming out from David Ornstein. That Champions League qualification is not a necessity for Slot to keep his job. It makes zero sense. Like, why not? How have we lowered our standards to be like, Champions League football, if we get it, if we don't, who cares? We spent 450 million in the summer. Does that still not mean anything to these people? We spent 450 million on win now players. Do you think Alexander Isak went on strike at Newcastle to move to Liverpool for Europa League football? No, of course he didn't. You think he moved here for maybe even Europa Conference League football? No, he didn't. Like, what are we doing here? I think Florian Wirtz decided to turn down Bayern Munich and Manchester City for Europa League football. This club are so stupid sometimes. It's unbelievable. Got a very reliable source who told me Slot will definitely not be at Liverpool next season. I mean, I'm hoping I'm hoping your source is correct. I don't know if your source is genuine. I don't know if your source is basically just tomato or barbecue. But like I say, I'm I'm more inclined to believe Ornstein, unless Ornstein has gone into rage bait and clickbait territory. Then I don't know. I'm hoping that this is wrong. I'm hoping that Ornstein is on this occasion wrong. But I'm terrified because, like I say, normally when he speaks, there is legs to it. There's weight behind it. So I'm worried. I'm very worried. Had the situation involved another top tier rival club in Europe, it is highly probable that Arne Slot would be sacked and terminated with immediate effect. Bro, like I said, like I said, Man United got rid of Ruben Amorim. They decided to go a completely different way from Amorim. Chelsea got rid of Enzo Maresca. Tottenham have gotten through about 3-4 different managers over the course of the past year. You don't have to agree with who they replaced them with, but at least they took a gamble. At least they rolled the dice. At least they said, look, things can't continue this way. We need to change something. And Tottenham even got rid of someone that won them their first trophy in 17 years. Like, what are we doing here? How is it that a team like Tottenham, who are probably going to be relegated to the Championship this year, are showing at least more ambition and more brain cells than us? How is that possible that they're actually going, you know what, this can't continue. We need to change something. And we, as Liverpool, as a Liverpool Football Club, are looking at it going, this is fine. This is fine. The squad's playing boring football. We're so predictable to watch. We spent all this money in the summer to get further and further away from where we want to be. But it's fine. It's all right. We've got a manager who suffers PTSD from a certain French club. He wants to be like them so much, but then goes against them and plays 5 at the back, which is not a PSG trait or a Luis Enrique trait, but it's fine. We play 45 minutes of Arne Slot football against that same team in the second leg, in the first leg, and then we throw a bit more caution to the wind. We play a little better, but we're still toothless in attack, and we're still very open defensively, but it's fine. Doesn't matter who we face every week, but we get ran through in our midfield, but it's fine. We've lost at home and got absolutely humiliated at home by the likes of Manchester United, Nottingham Forest, PSV, but it's fine. We couldn't even beat any of the newly promoted clubs at home, but it's fine. Like, do our owners not care anymore? Are they too busy licking their wounds over not getting multi-club ownership? Like, what is going on? It doesn't make any sense. We are not going big in spending this summer. If we do, it will be from selling players. I'm sure we've probably got like 100 million maybe, or something, just plucking a random number out the air, tucked away somewhere, and we'll probably use that. But the majority might come from selling players again. We may rely on that old model of ours, which is sell to buy. Who do we get rid of? Well, I think that McAllister could if Real Madrid still want him. I doubt they would, but I reckon that could be, some money there, and maybe we'll get a couple of million for Cody Gakpo, because I can't really see anybody else taking him unless we absolutely slash the price, because he's frigging useless. I don't know, man. It's awful. It's awful right now. We need a centre-back, CDM, wingers, and number 9. along with maybe another right back, another left back, a whole new team, essentially. A whole new team. This is an embarrassment and a joke. I agree with you. That is fair, mate. I just think as it looks now for Spurs, they wouldn't really have lost much keeping the winning manager. Yeah, maybe the end result would have always been the same. Maybe the end result would have always been the same as far as what Spurs are concerned, but at least they tried something different, and it had to. They had to do something different. I think. I don't think they could have continued going down the route that they were going down. We'll obviously never know, but I think they'll be fine under De Zerbi, even if it means that they have to go down to the Championship for next season in order to potentially come back up. I actually think De Zerbi is a good appointment for them, and I think that it might work out in the long run in which he gets them back into the Premier League and they are a stable club again. May not necessarily be pulling up any trees or anything, but they're stable. What do you think of United and Carrick? I loved to see Leeds take them. It's an interesting one. Again, Man United show ambition by sacking Amorim and going in a different direction. The Carrick one is interesting. I think United need to steer clear of Carrick as a permanent manager. I think for what he's done this season, he's done really well and he's achieved the goal of getting top 5, which under Amorim did not seem like that was going to happen. He's got them into the top 5. They're probably likely to stay in the top 5. They'll be fine. He's got them their goal of this year to get them back into Champions League football. Don't get attached, though. How many times have we seen these kinds of managers come in and it hasn't worked out? In the long run. Short term, fine. I would let him go. I would let him go and maybe he gets picked up by a Bournemouth who are going to be obviously looking for a new manager since Andoni Areola's going, or a Crystal Palace now that obviously Oliver Glasner's confirmed that he's not going to be staying beyond the summer. Let him go to one of them. A place where there's not too much pressure, but at least he can build up his experience on a Premier League level. Let him go to one of them. And then maybe in a couple of years' time, maybe he'll come back. And because you've got that connection already that Carrick played for United, knows United, interim manager at Man United for a couple of spells, that connection might draw him back to next time be a permanent manager in which he's already built up his experience and it may be a very, very good thing for Man United going forward. I wouldn't go with him just yet, though. I would wait. Big Kingsman is in the building. Lovely to have you here, bro. Says we are finished. And you know what, mate? It is hard to disagree with you on that one. Abdul says we are sick and tired of this ownership, head coach, and players. It's not good, is it? It's not good. It's not good. Egg and Sausage Boy says, shut eye. Okay, my dude. Hope you're doing well. We need to win EPL, UCL, FA Cup, and EFL Cup every season. Bit entitled there. Like, I'd just be happy with Premier League or Champions League. Don't need to win it every year, bro. Let's be real. But, we need to at least compete at the very least. We need to be serious winners. Yeah, we do. We need to be serious. But that's not happening with this club. This got to be fake news. No way is what Size 8U is saying. Big up yourself, bro. Hope you're doing well. Lovely to have you here. I wish it was, my dude. I wish it was, but this is coming from the mouth of David Ornstein, who, as we know, is somewhat more reliable than most. So take it as you will with a pinch of salt. I hope I'm back soon and I'm saying that Ornstein got it wrong. I hope I'm saying that either Ornstein got it wrong or maybe Ornstein does get it right, but maybe Arne Slot takes it upon himself to maybe step down, leave the club of his own accord. So I'm hoping that that's the case, because there was always the possibility that maybe Slot turns around and goes, you know what, I'm done. I'm gone. I'm going to walk away myself. I'm going to spend the next few years partying in Ibiza or wherever. Like, I'm hoping that that's the case. But who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? We are only spending if we sell big, and that means selling off our best assets. I was just saying that, wasn't I? Like, I didn't even read your comment, and we're both thinking along the same lines. The chances are is that I know we'll obviously have some money this year, but most of it might actually come from player sales. So, I mean, like, what? Who would you say is like indispensable right now? Like, obviously we're shifting Salah, so that's a large percentage off the wage bill. Robertson's leaving as well on a free. That's another bit of the wage bill gone. Like, and the problem is that after coming off the back of a horrible season in which no one's really performed well, I know that some of these players might still survive off their reputation of previous years, but who's good right now that a lot of teams would take? Our best player this season is Dominic Szoboszlai. Not a knock on Szoboszlai, but we need what we can get. Why would we sell him? I just, I don't know, man. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, but we shall see what happens in the summer. Got to go, Fletcher. I really can't talk about about this, but my prediction on Sunday is Everton 3, Liverpool 1. Another masterclass from Slot. More like disaster class, am I right? No, big up, Dean. Thank you for being here, my bro. Always happy to talk football with you, my bro. Lovely to have you here, and hope you have a good rest of your day, my dude. So Dean, not exactly optimistic when it comes to the Merseyside derby on Sunday. Let me know your thoughts about the Merseyside derby, by the way. Let me know your thoughts and predictions on the game. Would love to gauge the overall mood surrounding what is going to be an interesting Merseyside derby on Sunday. Kinsman says that we are lucky Arsenal made it to the semi-final, which made us go to the Champions League at 5th place. England were always getting the 5th place spot. We were way ahead of everybody else. England was always getting it. And Arsenal didn't need to qualify either. Arsenal just needed to win their first leg. And they did. And that's what happened. Like, Arsenal could have lost the second leg, been knocked out of the Champions League, and England was still got that 5th place spot. So that was always going to happen, especially with when you consider like England have so many teams in all 3 tiers of European football. I mean, we've still got Forest and Aston Villa going strong in the Europa League and possibly could qualify tonight for the next round. And obviously Crystal Palace are going strong in the Europa Conference League. So, and also we had 6 teams in the Champions League, 6 teams that all qualified. By the way, all 6 teams qualified in the Champions League. So Liverpool qualified, Arsenal qualified, City qualified, Newcastle did, Chelsea even did, and Spurs did. All 6 teams qualified for the knockout stages of the Champions League. So that obviously put us in good stead as well. If Alisson doesn't go at the end of the season, he will announce it in the middle of the next season with Virgil. Yeah, I think they'll all do what basically Klopp did, and obviously what the Rat did, and of course what Just had to dig that in there for Trent. And of course, what Salah's done this year, I think they'll do the same thing. They will set their stall out, and they'll basically be like, "Yeah, we're good, we're gonna end it this year. We're gonna end the chapter on Liverpool this year." I have a question. Did you happen to do reactions and previews for anything Liverpool channel? I don't think so. I don't think I've never done anything Liverpool. Sorry, just sorting something out here. Which one's anything Liverpool again? Just trying to work it out. Which one's anything Liverpool? Anything Liverpool? I haven't worked with anything Liverpool, but I'm just trying to work out which channel that one is. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember. Just hope that we can win in the remaining 7 or 6 matches. 6 more matches. Yeah, 6 more matches to go. 6 more matches to go, and then the season ends, and we can put this season behind us and go again like it's Groundhog Day next year. I really, really don't want to do this again next year. I really don't want to go through this whole entire situation again next year. This must be rage bait. This must be a social experiment at this point. I really can't go through this again next year. I really, really can't. It's been painful this year. Imagine how boring it's going to be next year. How am I supposed to come on to match reactions and talk Liverpool like in streams like this and basically say the same stuff that I'm probably been saying for the past year? I can't be doing it. Guna seems to think that Everton 1, Liverpool 1 will be the final score on Sunday. And you know what, bro? I think that's probably the best result Liverpool can probably get. A draw. A draw is probably the best result Liverpool can get. Maybe we need the disaster of not qualifying for Europe. I can only see him going if that happens. Well, Ornstein basically stated that whether we get Champions League football or not, Slot is probably here to stay. Those were his words. He basically said that regardless of whether or not Liverpool qualify for Champions League, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit when I say that, of course, but essentially that is the story. Regardless of whether Liverpool or not get Champions League football, the intention from Liverpool Football Club is to maintain the services of Arne Slot as the head coach. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Even Mo Salah says everyone is his worst game of the season, so isn't going to be pretty. Like I said, this is the strange thing about it. Dominic Szoboszlai has been our best player throughout this season. Now, there's talk that we are advancing in talks with Szoboszlai over a new deal to protect that investment and to obviously try and keep him here for as long as possible. If you're Dominic Szoboszlai, though, you're seeing Salah pretty much get kicked out the door. You're seeing, Salah leave, maybe not necessarily by his own accord, but kind of get kicked out the door that way, be disrespected somewhat by the club. You're seeing Robertson leave. You're seeing how poor we are on the pitch. You're the only person that seems to care. You're the only person that is doing well right now. What's the incentive to stay for Szoboszlai? What is the incentive to stay? What is the incentive to sign a new deal? Where's the incentive to be like, this is just a blip. This is just a one-off season. Next season will be fine. What's the incentive there? I don't think there is one, but apparently he's on the verge of signing a new deal. So there's got to be something. Shocking. Everton, not everyone. Predicted text. I wish it would predict the sacking of Slot. I hope so. We aren't winning the derby. Everton 2, Liverpool 0 is what I'm going to so butcher your name, but I do apologize. Shaban is saying here. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right, but I do apologize if not. I am so bad with names. It's unbelievable. Again, another Liverpool fan. I'm assuming you're a Liverpool fan anyway. That is not optimistic in regards to Liverpool's chances against Everton on Sunday. So okay, I'm busy next season. I'm washing the dishes. Yeah, I'm gonna take up gardening or something. I'm gonna do something next year that is gonna take up most of my weekends and I'm gonna be doing you. I'm gonna be doing you. I'm gonna be doing that kind of stuff. Never mind. I'm just looking for some 3 idiots from the channel Anything Liverpool who used to say Konate and Salah were the problem. No, man. I mean, look, they're symptoms. They are symptoms. Like, no one's going to deny that, they've not been great this year and all of that kind of stuff. But you can trace the symptoms to the root cause, and that is Arne Slot. Like, Konate's been poor, Salah's been poor, Van Dijk's been poor, everybody's been poor at some stage. The only one that has been the most consistent is Szoboszlai. Ekitike has been great until about the past month or so. They're symptoms of problems. They are symptoms because you can all trace it back and link it back to the root cause, which is the manager. The manager's set the team up. We've not improved throughout the course of this season. And every single time that Liverpool play well or every single time that Liverpool get a result, it's not because we played it the Arne Slot way. It's because he decided to abandon his principles and go a bit more adventurous. Like, that's the bottom line. Like, look at PSG. The second leg against PSG is prime example of slot ball in comparison to him abandoning slot ball and going for and being a bit more free and a bit more adventurous. The first half was all slot ball, and look how dull that was. Yes, we stopped PSG from creating a lot, but we were meant to be the team in the ascendancy because we were the home team, and we also were chasing a 2-goal lead. In the second half, we went a bit more adventurous because we had to. We had to go a bit more adventurous, which means we lost a bit of shape, but we were on the front foot, and it was only through counterattacks in which PSG managed to pick us apart. Now, if we'd have done that from the beginning, maybe PSG would have slapped us up. But with more attackers on the pitch in terms of We only could play Isak for 45 minutes. Ekatike was on the pitch as well for most of the first half. Maybe things might have still been a little different and more so in our favour. Who knows? But that's the difference between slot ball in the first half and not slot ball in the second. And every time that we've had good results, it's been through not slot ball. You look at Real Madrid. You look at Newcastle. You look at any other of the minor, not minor, but any of the other results that we've picked up that have actually been good for Liverpool. And let's be honest, they've not been a lot. They've not been in great abundance this year. A few of them have been through not slot ball. We have picked up wins under slot ball as well. The opening 5 games of the season spring to mind. But it wasn't sustainable, as proven by the way that we couldn't keep it up. Just shows you everything that you need to know. What are we becoming? We haven't beaten the promoted teams at Anfield, and the club is still going forward with him. Like I said, embarrassed at home to Man United, embarrassed at home to Nottingham Forest, embarrassed at home to PSV. And then, like you said, on top of that, not beating any of the newly promoted sides at home. Not even beating Tottenham at home. Tottenham. Igor Tudor picked up his only point in his short reign at Liverpool again, in his short reign at Tottenham against Liverpool. That is a sackable offence in of itself. We lost to bottom of the table Wolves, and in the reverse fixture of that, we actually struggled against them to begin with. But yet it's fine. It's fine to go into next season with, apparently. Right. Okay. Big up Ballum is in the building. Lovely to have you here, bro. Hope you're doing well. I'm good, bro. I'm good. Hope you're okay. Yeah, that's right. Shaban from Kenya. Oh, big up. Wonderful. Lovely to have you here, bro. Hope you're doing well. When is your Premier League prediction video? Did you forget last week? No, I just didn't have time last week, but it will be today or tomorrow. I don't know for sure. Probably record today, but out tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know when I have time or not. Either way, it'll be either today or tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure. I've heard knitting is good for men now, and plaiting girls' hair. To be fair, I do need to get good at plaiting my daughter's hair, so I need to train that up. So maybe I might watch some YouTube tutorials or something and get that out of the way and done with. But that, along with, like I say, gardening or I don't know, I don't know, anything, any kind of hobby is probably better. How about watching paint dry? I'll watch paint dry. It's more entertaining than watching Liverpool right now. I will take watching paint dry. I will go outside and I will do my gardening, and at the same time I'll also watch the grass grow, because that's got to be more entertaining than watching Liverpool, right? Got to be. Remember to do a Premier League prediction YouTube video this week, either today or tomorrow. Yeah, it'll definitely be likelihood tomorrow, but we'll see. Tottenham needs wins such as this weekend, home to Brighton. Massive week for Spurs. Massive week for Spurs, especially when you consider the West Ham game and Forest against Burnley as well. Massive weekend for Spurs. Man like Sohil, I hope I'm pronouncing that name right, bro. I do apologize. Big up to yourself, bro. Hope you're doing well. Lovely to have you here with us. Hopefully that's just PR and that he will get sacked. I'm hoping so, bro. I'm hoping that this is just Liverpool speaking to David Ornstein and saying, like, we're not going to rock the boat. We're going to say that we're going to keep him. We're going to say that he's got our full backing. But then in the summer, that changes regardless of what happens in terms of getting or not getting Champions League football. I'm hoping that it's wrong, but usually when Ornstein says something, it's 9 times out of 10 the truth. It's 9 times out of 10 got some weight and legitimacy behind it. Obviously, it's not 100% accurate, but we shall see. We shall see. You have viewers from Africa. I'm watching from south of England. I've got viewers from all over, bro. Got viewers from all over. And everybody and anybody is welcome to join and have their say. Fletch, who does the best meal deal in the UK? Asda, etc. I have to go. Talk soon. I have a Tesco near my work, so I always go Tesco, but I don't have anything to really compare it to because there's only really Tesco near my work. So if I was to go for a meal deal, it would be Tesco. But I don't know. I mean, I don't actually know. Like I say, I've got nothing to compare it to. I'm sure Asda's are great, but I just don't have an Asda near my work. You need a new hobby. Be a Clapton SC member for £6. If I lived in London, bro, I probably would. If I lived anywhere near, I probably would. But needs to be. I need to do something. I can't go through this again next year. Jesus Christ. Can't be saying the same things over and over again. Legit, for most of the match reaction videos that we do, I could probably put one from any other period of time that we lost a game and just put that out there to run. And then I'd be like, you guys have to obviously change the information. So, for example, if we lost 2-0 rather than 3-0, you'd be like, just if I say that we lost 3-0, you know it's lost 2-0. If obviously if I talk about a certain opposition player, just replace them with whoever scored or whatever. The whole thing is just a repetitive, boring cycle. It is essentially, as someone said, Groundhog Day. Hopefully that's just PR and we'll get him sacked soon. Yep, fingers crossed. Start a challenge, shaving your eyebrows until Liverpool wins 6 home games in a row for next season. That guy's never going to shave his head, is he? He's never going to shave his head. Every single time you think, oh, United might do it. No, they don't. No, they don't. I heard on Twitter that that they've done the same with Brendan Rodgers. I hope it's the same case, mate. I mean, there is that as well. I mean, there are a number of stories where not even just managers, but players as well. Like, how many times have you heard, we're not selling this player? Only for a few days later, that particular player is sold. How many times have you heard a manager is getting the full backing of the club, whether it be, I'm sure it happened with Enzo Maresca at Chelsea. I'm sure it happened with Ruben Amorim at Man United. I'm sure it happened with the number of Tottenham managers they've had over the past year. I'm sure that has happened, and I'm sure that's the case. And I do seem to recall it did happen somewhat with Brendan Rodgers. So you are right. The only thing, like I say, that is kind of worrying me a little bit is the fact that this is coming from the mouth of David Ornstein. That's the problem. That is the problem. If it was coming from other people, I would be more inclined to go, don't believe it. But like I say, when Ornstein says it, there's usually weight behind it because Ornstein is very particular and careful with what he says. Now, he does go on to say like it is his like belief, and obviously the indication is that he will stay without actually stating it's definite or it's set in stone. But again, usually he's very particular and careful with what he says and how he says it. So, again, take it all with a pinch of salt, but we shall see. Not a situation I wanted. I actually wanted Arne to succeed, but I suppose we have to back him for the last few games of the season at least. Come on, Redmen, grow a pair is what Bush Baptist says here. And look, to a certain degree, he has been successful. To a certain degree, like winning the Premier League is a success. Like, there's no shame in sacking him and being like, oh, this didn't work out, because essentially it has worked out. We won the Premier League. A lot of people would give their right arm to win the Premier League. If Mikel Arteta bottles the Premier League this year, he's done something that Mikel Arteta couldn't do in how long has he been here now? 7 years? In 7 years. So, essentially, it's been a success. It's just not sustained success for the long term. And it doesn't necessarily need to be. I would take 10 years of success under 10 different managers than one Premier League title in 10 years. I would take 10 years of success. It would be lovely if we could have 10 years of success with one manager. But you don't really get that in the modern day game these days. Unless you're exceptional. Pep Guardiola may be the last of a dying breed. You don't get that. But we want more. We want to be competing, and we also want to be playing good football to boot. I know it's difficult in the Premier League right now, but is it too much to ask? I don't think it is. I was simply saying go own a football club. Maybe one day. Who knows? I can't see us missing Xabi Alonso. He will be the perfect coach for us. Modern, highly tactical, and will unlock Wirtz. There's only one real scenario. I will accept Arne Slot staying one more year. And the scenario is that if we are guaranteed that at the end of next year, at the end of next season, Luis Enrique walks in at Anfield. That's the only way I will accept it. But even then, I would still take an interim manager. I would take Gerrard for a year as interim manager if it meant we get Luis Enrique at the end. Because Luis Enrique, I've said it time and time again, is the only manager I would take over Xabi Alonso. That's the only thing. And I know that obviously Luis Enrique's contract does run out in 2027, but that's the only thing that would actually get me somewhat on board. And even then, I'd still be like, I'm writing off next season. I'm going to take up gardening. I would still have that mindset and attitude, but at least I can then turn around and go, 27, 28, Luis Enrique. Whew. Chef's kiss. But that probably ain't going to happen. That probably is not going to happen. Because Luis Enrique, I've predicted it before and I'll predict it again. I think Luis Enrique is going to Man City. I think Luis Enrique will go to Man City. That's my prediction. We'll see. I just want him to play Wirtz as a 10. I want to see Dom as the 8. I want to see wingers on the wing. Is that difficult for him to do? Look at how good our wingers were on Saturday against Fulham. Now, I know Fulham weren't great, and I know that Fulham are kind of hit and miss and hot and cold sometimes, but our wingers were the difference maker on the day. And when you've got Ngamoa, 17-year-old kid, who's absolutely fearless. I mean, even against PSG in the cameo that he did, he showed no fear in going up against the likes of Hakimi and whoever else. Like, whoever was stood in his way, he showed no fear against them. I love that from this kid. He should have started, and that was a massive oversight from Slot. Luis Enrique will be the dream coach, is what Sohail is saying here. A lot of talk. If you look around, Enrique is on his way to the Manx. This is just the end of the world if that happens. Let's say, I think if Enrique makes himself available this year, then I think it is entirely possible that Pep Guardiola walks away at the end of the season, especially if he wins the domestic treble as well. You know, if Guardiola wins the FA Cup and the Premier League, what a way to bow out on. He wins the domestic treble yet again and goes, time for me to walk away. And then if Enrique makes himself available, he just walks in at Man City. If Enrique stays until the final year of his contract, because again, it would be incredible if Enrique basically won back-to-back Champions Leagues with PSG, and then when I'm leaving at the end of the season, that would be an incredible way to bow out as well. He would go straight into that Man City setup. That for me would be phenomenal for City. Obviously, assuming that 115 charges doesn't hit them hard. He walks in at City and City dominate. And that is the way that you accommodate for losing the best manager currently in the modern day game. If that doesn't happen, though, if Enrique decides to stay until 2027, there is a possibility that City convince Guardiola to see out the rest of his contract, and then he'll leave at the end of the next season, and Enrique will be brought in then. Or there's the slight possibility that if he leaves this year and Enrique stays, City could look to a Vincent Kompany at Bayern, which I think would be a mistake. Or they go for Xabi Alonso instead. And that is terrifying to even think about. We can have a Premier League where Luis Enrique coaches Man City, Fabregas coming back to Arsenal, and then Xabi Alonso at Liverpool. That would make me feel extremely old. That would make me feel old. I know I'm 30, but Jesus Christ, like, that would make me feel so old. Luis Enrique at City. Former Arsenal player Cesc Fabregas at Arsenal. And then Xabi Alonso at Liverpool. Michael Carrick remaining at United. Liam Rossini still at Chelsea. Damn. Mad, isn't it? It's mad to think about. No, I mean the real Manx, not the cheating Manx. That would be the dream appointment for United. That would be the dream appointment for Man United. The problem is that squad is not necessarily win now. It's not a necessarily win now squad. You know, like Arsenal, if Arsenal don't win the Premier League under Mikel Arteta, that squad I would class as win now because you just need one or two players and you're there. Enrique would come in at Arsenal, he'd buy one or two players, and he would turn that squad into a Premier League winning squad as the bare minimum, right? If he goes in at United, they're not a win now squad. They've still got to build depth to their squad. They've got a good starting 11. decent starting 11, but you take out one or two of them players, they don't have the squad depth to cover. Like Arsenal, you take one or two players out of their squad, they've got the squad depth to cover. City, you take one or two players out of their squad, they've got the squad depth to cover. We used to have that, and then everyone dropped off a cliff. We still have it, just we need a new manager. You look at United, one or two players out of their squad, not good enough. Look at what happened in the midfield when Kobbie Mainoo was injured. Kobbie Mainoo was injured against Leeds, and look what happened. They didn't look the same. They need another Kobbie Mainoo. They need another clinical striker, in my opinion. They need a proper centre-back as well. Like, there are a few holes in that team. I'm just worried that if we keep Slot, we are so going to miss the boat on these types of managers. I'm worried. Your prediction is spot on. I simply want Liverpool to have a coach who plays modern, highly attacking, highly tactical football and helps us develop from identity. I'm envious of Luis Enrique at PSG or Fabregas at Como. Yeah. I couldn't agree more, bro. I couldn't agree more. Luis Enrique would be the dream appointment. Xabi Alonso, in my opinion, is second best, but also it's a strange one because I've said it before. Luis Enrique would be perfect, but I don't think you could get more than maybe 4 years out of him before he'd want the next challenge. Xabi Alonso, you could get for like a decade. You could get Xabi Alonso for like a decade, and you could probably build something rather spectacular there. So it depends what you really want. Do you want something that's more short term, or do you want something that may be more long term? Those were the two dream signings. Anyone else, I'm not convinced by. I'm not convinced by Glasner. I'm not convinced by Areola. Even though they're very good managers, I'm not convinced by them. They're very good, but I'm not convinced that the step up from Palace or Bournemouth to Liverpool would be kind on them. Remember, we tried it before with Brendan Rodgers. We tried it before with Roy Hodgson. Ended rather underwhelmingly. So I don't want to miss the boat on these types of managers, but with FSG in charge, it looks like we're going to. It looks like we're going to. Big up Nems is in the building. Lovely to have you here, bro. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Big up Marco as well, who's in the building. Says, so is it 100% confirmed that Slot is staying next season? Not 100% confirmed. Not 100% confirmed, but yeah, it's coming from Ornstein. And as I've said multiple times on this stream, Ornstein, he's very particular, and he's very cautious, shall we say, with what he writes. It's not like he wants to be right, but he wants to be accurate as he can be. So the likelihood is that there is some weight and legitimacy behind what he's saying. That red card yesterday did it for Real Madrid. Both Bayern goals came after the late Camavinga red card. Yeah, Camavinga, I wouldn't like to have been him this morning. He probably woke up to... I wouldn't like to have been him. A lot of angry messages, I would imagine. Because, like I said, that game was awesome last night. It had everything. But it was completely on him. Like, yeah, you know, you still have to obviously do a job even if you're down to 10 men, but I feel like that may have been a big turning point in the game. How you doing? I'm good, man. Hope you're doing well as well. When you saw Klopp, you saw identity and passion. Slot, however, reveals nothing. Even the players on the pitch appear clueless. The long route is always the best when you have a top manager, in my opinion, is what Soho is saying here. And you know what, bro? You're saying a lot that's ringing true here. Slot just doesn't give off the energy, the passion, the determination that Klopp does. And people have started doing this. Simon Jordan did a piece yesterday on Talk Sport in which he basically said that Klopp also went through seasons of where Liverpool weren't good. Even after winning the Premier League title, they had a season in which Liverpool weren't good. And that's right. He's right in saying that. The problem is that it wasn't through a lack of determination. It wasn't through a lack of trust in the manager as to why Liverpool were bad. The reason why Liverpool were bad that year was because the centre-back position was cursed. Van Dijk, Matip and Gomez all had season-ending injuries before we even got halfway through the season. We were forced to play Henderson and Fabinho at centre-back for a number of games, and they got injured. So they got injured. We went into the market on the final day of the January window. We bought in Ozan Kabak and Ben Davies. We played Nat Phillips and Reece Williams at centre-back as well. Ben Davies never got a game. We basically went for about 12 different centre-back partnerships in that season, as well as having injuries in other areas, like the midfield with Fabinho and Henderson, as I previously mentioned. And like I say, it was dreadful. It was dreadful for most of that season, but the players never lost faith. The players never lost that grit and that determination that Klopp gave them from the sidelines. He gave them trust. And by the end of it, you've got Nat Phillips looking like he could be the next incarnation of Maldini. Like, that's how good he made them feel, because he gave them that confidence. He gave them that belief. And now I look at the players in this team under Slot. These players are a shadow of their former selves. Klopp gave players confidence that they were absolute world beaters. Slot does the opposite. Slot does the opposite. How am I supposed to go into next season with a manager that can't motivate the players? How am I as a fan supposed to get motivated if the players don't seem motivated because it stems from the club? It stems from the manager. I can't get motivated behind that. Big up Pesh, who's in the building. Lovely to have you here, bro. Says, don't worry about other managers. We stuck with Slot for years until relegation. Well, thanks for that, bro. That's really made my day. That's really made my day. Appreciate that, my dude. I'm glad you're well, my bro. Glad you're well. Hope we get Xabi Alonso. Me too, bro. Me too. Really wish that this news is not genuine at all. What's your thoughts on Camavinga as a player? Because apparently he was in talks with the club last week. I like him. I've always liked him ever since, he's playing in the French league. Always thought there was something with him. I was annoyed when we didn't sign him. Another player that we let slip through our fingers. I like him. I think he had a stupid moment yesterday. Very stupid moment. We all have them. Everybody has them. I like him. If Real Madrid want to get rid, I think it's well worth having a look. Really do. Arsenal PSG final, I reckon, with PSG to win. I think so too. I hope Atletico can do a number on Arsenal. I really do. If anything, I would want Atletico to win the competition. I like Simeone, and Atletico are weirdly likable for me. They're weirdly likable, and I think most of it comes from Diego Simeone. So I would hope that they win it for Simeone. But I don't see them getting past Arsenal as much as I would love them to. But PSG are just too good. PSG are good all round. They're just the well-built, well-established team. And the way that I look at PSG versus Bayern are great going forward. There's no doubt about it that Bayern are great going forward. But defensively, they are suspect. They are so suspect defensively. And I think PSG could possibly rip them apart. Don't get me wrong. Elise, Kane, and Diaz could also rip PSG apart. But I reckon PSG have probably got more going for them going forward than what Bayern do. And PSG have got a lot more defensively than what Bayern do. So I think the attack and defense of PSG outweighs whatever Bayern can throw at them. But I'm looking forward to that game. I am so looking forward to that game because the quality in that game is going to be extremely high. What we're going to see in the semi-final in both games are going to be two completely opposite games. You're going to see PSG versus Bayern, two teams that will go at it hammer and tong and probably go blow for blow. What you're going to get in the Arsenal Atletico game is going to be a bit more tactical. It's going to be a bit more standoffish. It's going to be a bit more structural based, I guess you would say. Two very, very different games, in my opinion. Big up Nate is in the building. Lovely to have you here, bro. Hope you're doing well. It says, hi, mate. Yeah, we need a coach who can instill the identity, passion, man management, and identity. Someone who has managed a competitive side. I say he just doesn't. This manager right now just doesn't install any of that into the team. Like, there's very little there from Slot in comparison to Klopp. And I know that obviously the next manager after Klopp was always going to have a hard time because the comparisons were going to be there. But you know, even in his interviews and even in his press conferences, the guy has nothing to offer other than repetitive, ridiculous answers and opinions. Like I say, he has spent over a year having PTSD about PSG. He spent over a year bringing up PSG at every opportunity that he could, even if the questions were unprovoked. Even if the questions were like, what do you have for breakfast this morning? Well, I think that PSG are amazing and I want to one day replicate them. Like, stuff like that. To then go against them again this season and be even worse than what we were last year after spending 450 odd million. Like, the guy's insane. The guy's insane. He mentions PSG every opportunity. He's thrown multiple players under the bus this year. Multiple players under the bus. Never takes responsibility for or accountability for his own actions. He's always in it for himself. Klopp never used to do that, by the way. Klopp always took responsibility. Klopp would always take the limelight off the players whenever things went bad. He'd put the limelight on the players when things were good. And then when things were bad, he would go, no, don't you dare question or talk about my players that way. This is on me. This is my fault. This is my problem. Rated that because Slot never does that. Slot never does that. You're absolutely right. You can also see the impact on the fans. The atmosphere at Anfield has been flat since Klopp's departure. I feel sorry for anybody that went to the game against PSG in France, and I feel sorry for the ones that went to the game on Tuesday, because the one on Tuesday especially going to Anfield, singing your hearts out of You'll Never Walk Alone before the game, and then watching that performance, dreadful. The game in Paris was horrible as well. Didn't lay a glove on PSG. The travelling fans made their way there, and we didn't lay a glove on them. Didn't show anything. Didn't show anything to get excited about for the rest of the season or even for the second leg that there could be a comeback. Slot just does not install anything in this side other than worry and panic. Just saw the Camavinga challenge back in this replay. He gets a red first and then a yellow. What's going on there? Plus, it wasn't even a foul. I don't know whether the referee just got it wrong or what the case was, but it was a double yellow. It was a double yellow card. I think the referee probably just got the order wrong. I don't know. But yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy, but it matched a crazy game in general. And like I say, it was a game that had absolutely everything, was full of quality, and was full of some bozo moments as well. I mean, Manuel Neuer in the opening 30 seconds of the game, literally gifting it to Arda Güler. And we know Arda Güler from distance is dangerous. Look at the goal he scored from inside his own half this season. Arda Güler is dangerous from distance. That's the one player you don't want to give the ball to in that situation. And yet Manuel Neuer, one of the best goalkeepers still on the planet, made an absolute stupid error that obviously the rest of his team bailed him out with. But he was also helped by the fact that Camavinga was stupid as well. So the game had absolutely everything last night. Again, it was a joy to watch. And it was like a joy to watch Barcelona versus Atletico as well. And I'm telling you people right now, it's no coincidence that the two games that did not feature English teams were the better games of this week's Champions League action. I'm just throwing it out there. Let's face facts. Mo and Robbo are leaving because of the manager. There's going to be more, and I find myself having to have the support of this idiot. Robertson, I think, is leaving more so for first-team football, and I understand that completely. Like, he's still got a fair amount to offer a team. He can still go, but he's not going to get first-team football because Kirkes is there, right? Salah, I think, is being pushed out the door at Liverpool. I think he was right in what he said in November, December time, when he basically said someone at the club is throwing him under the bus and not wanting him at the club anymore. I think he's been proven right in what he said. So, yeah, I think that's the case with Mo and Robbo. But it doesn't go well. It doesn't go well for the future. And like you say, there could be more exits, and maybe not the exits that we would want. For example, I think a large number of the fan base would want Gakpo to be sold this summer, but who's to say that will happen? And then maybe, just maybe, someone that we all love and adore, they may go instead. We shall see. Our recruitment has been questionable at best. We could have signed Kvaratskhelia, but we chose to stick with Gakpo. Our midfield also needs a change. Maka and Gravenberch haven't been good. Frimpong injuries. Yeah, you couldn't really predict the Frimpong injuries. That's not necessarily on the manager. That's just unfortunate. McAllister and Gravenberch, though, drop-off is massive. The drop-off is massive in those two and in Gakpo. Kvaratskhelia, for me, will be one of the big what-if stories of Liverpool. I really wish we'd have got him. He is so damn good. He is so freaking good. And yet we let it slip through our fingers. Let it slip through our fingers. Big up Abdul, hope you're doing well, my bro. Yes, make sure you are liking and subscribing, people. Really do appreciate each and every single one of you being here. You guys are absolutely awesome. Cannot thank you enough for the love and support on the channel. What will happen to Elliot? I love the kid. I think he will be one of our soul players. We are actually starting to turn like Serie A teams that sell 7+ players and buy 7 and expecting them to do well. I mean, the whole Elliot situation is bizarre because we agreed a deal with Aston Villa in which they would eventually take him on permanently. And Aston Villa have basically turned around to us and gone, that's not happening anymore. And they tried to make us look like the bad guy in the situation, which is stupid because they agreed to it. Elliot will be sold. It's a shame because I really do feel like there, again, was a lot more to come from him. And I really wish we saw a lot more from him. But Elliot will be sold in the summer, one way or another, whether Aston Villa stick to the original agreed deal that was put in place, or whether or not, Liverpool may get to keep him, move him on elsewhere. And again, it's like I said earlier, one of these supposed circumstances around Arne Slot and the reason why he's getting a lot of sympathy seemingly from the Liverpool board is because this is seen as a season of transition in which we've sold a number of players and we've brought in a number of players. I'm sorry, but the chances are is that we're probably going to be doing the same again this summer. So what, does he get another free pass because we're doing the same thing again this year that we did last year? And B, not only that as well, but as I mentioned previously, Isak, Wirtz, Frimpong, Kirkes, they aren't, and Ekatike, they aren't transitional players. They are win now players. They are win now players. And guess how much we won this year? Nothing. Zero. Nada. So, like, what exactly are we supposed to do? What exactly are we supposed to do going forward when we continuously make excuses for failure? Continuously make excuses for failure. We need to support the manager to make players like Dom stay when they are on the pitch and boos and whistles start. It's aimed to everyone on that pitch. And how long is Dom going to put up with that? The players need to take criticism. Like, we can sit here and we can criticize the manager all we want. And granted, the manager is a massive problem at this club, but the players need to take some responsibility as well. The players have not been good enough. Like, we get that. But again, it's symptoms to the root cause. The root cause is the manager, in my opinion. And in a lot of other people's opinions, it is as well. But it is more so on the manager. Bear with me one sec, guys. I just got to... And we're back. But yeah, it's... I say you've got to give the fans something to cheer about. You've got to give the fans something. And right now, there's not really a lot to cheer about. The performances are dire, the results aren't there, and something that we all want to change at this football club is now seemingly not changing. So, what exactly is there to be happy about to be a Liverpool fan right now? Even the summer transfers, everyone should be excited for summer transfers. But with the way that last year in the summer went, it's going to be night and day. Last year's summer transfers were exciting and optimistic. Then we saw how they actually performed on the pitch because the manager's tactics and everything. How are we supposed to be excited knowing that the same manager is going to be in place this year? Anyone could walk through the door at Anfield this year. Are you going to be as excited as what you were seeing the likes of Wirtz and Isak walk through the door? No, because I'm going to be sat here going, this is a fantastic signing for Liverpool. This is amazing signing for Liverpool. But he's going to be playing under a manager who does not know what the hell he's doing and is out of his depth. So I don't even know what to expect, but I just know that whatever we're going to get is probably not going to be completely there. Even Mamardashvili has been meh. I don't. Apart from his kicking does my head in. Like, his kicking is not good. Apart from his kicking, I don't necessarily see anything that he's done necessarily wrong. Like, is there a drop off from him in comparison to Allison? Of course there is. But I don't think he's made any like critical errors that have led to goals or anything that I can think of. I think maybe one or two, but every goalkeeper makes errors like that. His kicking's poor. He definitely needs to work on that. But I don't know necessarily what more you could do, to be honest. We are stuck between the devil and Donald Trump. Which one's which? We need to make sure we get Champions League this season. If not, we're completely fucked, is what Tramp Moves is saying here. Big up to you, bro. Hope you're doing well. That's the consolation prize. That is the minor consolation prize of this season, Champions League football. That's it. That is it. And even then, going into next year with Slot at the helm, it's going to be another participation medal rather than an actual winner's medal. So, fantastic. What's the point? What is the point? If we don't get Champions League, Ekatike... What is it? Ekatike Adidas. Why is that on my brain? If we don't get the Champions League, Adidas can pull the sponsor money from under us. It'd be interesting to see what does happen with that kind of stuff and how FFP and PSR is looking for us going forward. Our pace and technical skills are also lacking, especially in counter-attacks and positional play. The midfield is missing the necessary legs and technical ability. Look at PSG's midfield or Bayern's. Yeah, we look so much better when on the ball, at least. I'm talking on the ball here. We look better with Curtis Jones in the midfield than we do with Gravenberch and McAllister. We look better with Curtis Jones because Curtis Jones is actually someone that can receive the ball, turn, and venture forward. Holds onto the ball for way too long sometimes, but at least he can move the ball forward. That's why I would love an Adam Wharton. I think Adam Wharton would be perfect for us. The only problem is that, like with most players in this squad, his performance has probably turned mediocre the moment he puts a Liverpool shirt on. I think Adam Wharton would be perfect for us, but that's why the midfield, like you say, needs a massive overhaul, and the technicality thing, and the lack of pace and stuff on the counter attack comes from your wingers. We've relied so much on wingers these past several years, Mane and Salah in particular. They're not there. They're not there no more. We need bigger and we need better. We've needed a CDM for years now. We failed to get Zubimendi because he wanted to stay at Sociedad, but we thought we could get away with it because we won at the Premier League. Gravenberch and McAllister aren't CDMs. And you are right. You are 100% right, because we thought the Gravenberch experiment would continue to be to prove fruitful for us, and it hasn't. People have found us out. People have found out Gravenberch. And not only that, but Gravenberch has played so many games that I think his legs are just fallen off. I just think his legs have fallen off. But you are 100% correct. We've definitely needed one since Fabinho. Since Fabinho's legs had gone and he obviously got sold, we've definitely needed a CDM. And like you say, we failed to do that, which is why Adam Wharton would be perfect. I was harsh on Mamardashvili, you're right. I just don't understand in modern football how you can recruit a goalkeeper who can't play with their feet. And it's the reason why PSG got rid of Donnarumma, and we all sat there and said, what the hell are PSG playing at in getting rid of Donnarumma? And you see why. Because although they may not be as strong as what they were, they're better at playing out from the back. And that's why they got rid of him. That is why they got rid of him. And that's why Pep went a little bit more long ball when he picked up Donnarumma, and has also got now a very good shot stopper and penalty goalkeeper. So that's why. Mr. Epic Kid says, Arne Slot. La, 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 la. Ugh. It's awful, isn't it? Let's just all hope we get this 5th place at least. If Slot is staying, we have to back him. Unfortunately, for these last few games, we have hope. There's a golden sky, and we need to grab at anything. It's all we can do. It's all we can do. Like I say, I don't want to be out the Champions League next season. Just in case there is a chance we may actually go on and win it. I would rather be in it than not. But at the same time, like I say, I do think it will just be a participation medal at the end, especially if Slot is staying. But I'd rather find out later on than right now. We need that top 5. We need that top 5. That's true. Jones's quality midfield comparison to Gravenberch and McAllister. Wharton is 50-50. We need a destroyer. CDMs, fighters to fight a machine with and without the ball. Someone like Caicedo, Tchouaméni, but not them. Like I say, I back Wharton. I back Adam Wharton to be that guy. But whether or not we can lure him away from Crystal Palace remains to be seen. If we're feeling a bit adventurous this summer, go back to Newcastle and take Bruno Guimaraes. Just saying. Bruno Guimaraes, Adam Wharton. Be adventurous. Be adventurous. But might not even matter who comes into this team if we continue to play this badly. Look, I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. I cannot thank you enough for the absolutely incredible stream that has been today. I wish it was under better circumstances. I wish it was under more positive vibes. But you guys have certainly helped in making this stream what it is. And I really can't thank you enough for that. You guys have been absolutely awesome. Make sure you're hitting the like button on the way out and subscribing if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated from me. You, like I say, you guys, I can't thank you enough for the love and support on the channel. If you're watching it on playback, if you're watching on playback, like I say, hit the comment section on anything that we talked about or anything that you want to talk about for future live streams to come. Really do appreciate that as well. Thank you, bro. No, thank you, bro. Like I say, these shows are as much your shows as they are mine, and like I say, it's been great to talk football with you all. Like, love it. Absolutely love talking football with you all. It's been wonderful to gain your insight as well as obviously put mine out there as well. So I can't thank you enough for that. Yeah, that's it. But I prefer Tonali. Like I say, Tonali's fantastic. I would take Guimarães over Tonali if I had one or the other. But I rate Tonali. I've rated Tonali at AC Milan as well. But he is really, really good. I like Tonali. Have a beautiful day. Same to you, my bro. Same to you. Thanks, brother. Love you reading all the comments. Yeah, I mean, you guys took the time to do it. So it's only right that I read them out. Obviously, if things do pick up, it might be a bit crazy to go through them all. And I know I do ramble, as I am right now, to get through the comments. But yeah, I will get through them eventually. So I appreciate you all being here and obviously taking the time out to comment. Alonso or Maresca? Oh, I would still go Alonso, but I do admire Maresca. Big up to each and every single one of you. I don't see why teams need so many defenders and defensive wingers when most teams now only play with one forward. If any team played 4-4-2 properly, they would dominate for a decade. Maybe 4-4-2 might come into fashion. Maybe 4-4-2 might come back into fashion. Only time will tell. I'm subscribing right now. Thank you, bro. That really does mean a great deal to me. So I thank you. I can't thank you enough for doing that. And I hope to see you back here in the next video or live stream or whenever it is that I do. Like I say, Premier League prediction video coming up this week. We're going to be back with that. And then, of course, if anything does break or if anything does happen, we'll be there at some stage to discuss it. Good show, guys. Thank you. Really do appreciate you being here as well. Like I say, thank you to each and every single one of you. You guys are absolutely awesome. Can't thank you enough. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks live stream, and I'll see you speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you all again very, very soon. Take care, people.